What is energy? Energy is the capacity of a system to do work. Work as in force, which is a push or a pull against the basic forces of nature.
The law of conservation of energy states that energy may neither be created nor be destroyed. Therefore, the sum of all energies in the system is a constant.
There are also two types of energy sources, which are renewable and non-renewable. The renewable is energy which comes from the natural resources, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, and geothermal heat, which are naturally fueled. And a non-renewable is a natural resource which cannot be produced, grown, and created. Once finished, there is no more available for future needs. Also, non-renewable are resources that are consumed much faster than nature can create them. Ms. Emma explains.
The human race is blinded by the non-renewable resources because the humans think that non-renewable resources are good because they're more accessible, but actually they cannot be reproduced, grown, regenerated, or used on a scale which can sustain its consumption rate, and the worst thing is that once they are worn out, they won't be available for the future.
Use of renewable energy resources are that it is difficult to produce a large amount of electricity like traditional fossil fuel generators, forcing those who use it to reduce the amount of energy they use. Also, the fact that renewable energy relies on weather for it to happen also makes its consumption hard. Having these resources unavailable makes the capacity to make energy from them unavailable too. In addition, its cost is even higher than traditional fossil fuel generators because it is a new technology and with an extremely large capital cost.
Renewable energy is almost infinite. For example, solar, tidal, wind, or geothermal energy.
Nuclear power, in plain English. Nuclear energy is divided into. Nuclear energy is used to generate power plants for medicine to treat cancer and atomic bombs to destroy other enemies' countries. Fusion is one of the categories of the nuclear power. This energy is only produced by the sun and stars because it needs high temperatures. The process of fusion works when two small atoms join and produce energy. By joining these two atoms, you create a bigger one. Fission is another part of the nuclear power. This energy, we can control it. Actually, it's the one that we use in power plants. Fission creates energy when an atom is hit by a neutron, making it split. Like this is create the energy. This energy is a light or heat. The major country that consumes nuclear power is USA, but Japan and France don't stay behind.
By humans since ancient times using a range of ever-developing technologies.
Let's try something. Please touch this solar panel.
Ouch! It's hot.
Yes, they absorb.
Solar panels were first introduced in 1839. However, the first solar panel was not invented until 1883 by Charles Fritz, but he was not the first one to visualize photoelectric power, but he was the first man to build a device that made that. The solar energy can be used as energy for any instrument that needs energy because it includes solar heating, solar photovoltaic, solar thermal, and solar architecture. These solar energy technologies can be considerable to solve some of the problems we are facing nowadays. The solar energy can make an instrument function correctly because there are different types of energy and depending on what type it may function.
Why aren't people using solar energy more?
Probably because electricity and natural gas are cheap, and it's more expensive to produce electricity using solar technology.
People have been using meat for heating and cooking, and for thousands of years. With today's technology, plant materials can be used to generate electricity, heat, or fuels for motorcycles that have sustainability, lower environment impact than traditional fossil fuels. Conservation facilities will likely be located where the crop is grown. That means local jobs, rural economies will grow. Because of the development of the local industry to convert biomass to either electricity or fuel. In addition, farmers will see their income rise thanks to the creation of new markets of their products. So it's how biomass impacts on our domestic energy supply do. It will definitely make you pay less. Ha 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 ha. Biomass currently provides about 2% of the electricity produced in the USA. And according to the American Biomass Association, easily supply 20% as a result of the available land.
Hydroelectric power in plain English. Bernard Forest de Villiers was one of the many who worked with electricity, and he discovered that water could be used to make electricity. Hydroelectricity means that with the movement of water, mechanic energy is transformed into electric energy. 21% of our energy comes from the hydroelectric. The water wheel is a good example of how does the energy transform. As you can see, the wheel is rotating, and when the water flows, it becomes into energy. Thank you.
Earth has millions of functions that make it the best planet in the galaxy. Geothermal energy in plain English. To understand geothermal energy, we must first know geothermal energy was discovered in Larderello, Italy in 1903, but no specific name has been reached. Geothermal means related to the internal heat of the Earth. Therefore, geothermal energy can be defined as thermal energy generated and stored within the Earth. Basically, it consists in using underground heat to heat water and produce steam that can turn generator turbines and make electricity. The advantages of using geothermal energy are that it does not create pollution, that the cost of the land to build a geothermal power plant is less expensive than if you were to construct a fossil fuel power plant, that it takes up very little room, and that no fuel is needed to generate power. Overall, the financial aspect of this plant is outstandingly cheap yet efficient. However, nothing can be perfect. The main disadvantages of building a geothermal energy plant lies mainly in the exploration stage, which is where researchers do a land survey in an attempt to find a suitable place to establish the plant. To extract heat, it is needed to find hot spots within the Earth's crust, which are highly common near volcanoes. But who would like to work next to a volcano? Conclusively, it is rather hard to find a place where the rock is soft enough to drill through, the rocks deep down containing enough heat, the heat will be sustainable for a large amount of time, and where the environment is fit for a power plant. Also, rare cases have been presented in which geothermal sites may contain small levels of poisonous gases that can impact the environment negatively. There are several countries that stand out from the world by implementing the most geothermal power plants. The top 15 countries are China, USA, Iceland, Turkey, New Zealand, Georgia, Russia, Japan, France, Sweden, Mexico, Italy, Romania, Hungary, and India.
Wind energy. In order to generate wind power, you need to be able to capture energy from the force of the wind. This is done usually through the use of windmills with a propeller blade type design. Once you have the capability of capturing the wind's energy, this harnessed energy can be used to drive turbines attached to a generator, which enables the generator to produce power.
One wing can light up about 130,000 and more light bulbs. Could be lit with one super powerful windmill-style power generator. Windmills have three sail-like edges that are connected to a tube and sit in the top of a large triangular base. These edges catch the wind and rotate, blinding the power of the wind. Miss Selma told her class that now she was going to introduce a new source of power that was tidal. To start the topic, Miss Selma showed them a video. After the video ended, Miss Selma said in a loud voice, "Pop quiz about tidal!" And she started giving out the quizzes. Ginger read the first question to herself and answered it. What is tidal power? Tidal power, often referred to as tidal energy, is achieved through the capture of the energy created as water moves in the ocean currents and tides. How are the plants of tidal energy? Tidal turbines are very similar to wind turbines but underwater. They are positioned strategically at entrances to bays or rivers, among others, where currents are passed. Because seawater is much denser than air, a single tidal turbine can produce significantly more energy than a wind turbine of the same size. Mention a tidal power plant. France's tidal power plant is the world's first and most famous tidal power plant in the world. The 240 MW plant is located at the Rance River, Brittany, France, and was started almost 45 years ago, and around the world there are 6 other tidal power plants. Bonus, extra info. If harnessed properly, it can produce up to 80% of the world's electricity needs. Ginger, since she watched very carefully the video, knew every question to the pop quiz had.